With her iconic, long, straight hair and flowy white dress, she haunts the trails of local tales and legends, doing so under a moniker that is no doubt familiar to most of us, the White Lady, also known as the Lady in White Ghost, the Woman in White, the Weeping Woman, and the Ghostly Hitchhiker, this legendary spirit being as the center of the bulk of ghost stories told throughout history, appearing before unknowing victims, commonly men and children, in a manner that would send chills down their spine. The interesting part, however, is that it is rarely the White Lady's looks that frighten her observers. Rather, the story behind her existence and manifestation, unbeknownst to many, is actually more tragic than terrifying. The Woman in White is a type of female spirit that, no matter the version of the tale, generally looks the same. She dons a white dress, could be a bridal, a nightgown, or something of the like, and has her long, typically black hair covering her face. Not much is said about the build of her body, though, but in most renderings she is depicted to be physically lean and tall. And while the color of her hair has almost always been black, or in a similar dark shade, some argue that this feature was only popularized by modern pop culture. In legends, the feared Lady in White varies from having a beautiful face to resembling a corpse, with gray skin, sunken eyes, and no lips. And this ghastly form could be better understood by knowing the common themes of White Lady stories: unrequited love, loss, betrayal, death, and taking the lives of others. A lot of Lady in White ghost stories begin with a once beautiful woman who, after suffering at the hands of men, ends up either removed from the senses or unhinged and willing to do some self-harm. Instead of moving on to the afterlife, it is often said that her thirst for vengeance tethered her restless spirit to the physical world. Thus, the ghost of the Woman in White appears, mostly in front of men, particularly those who have been unfaithful, abusive, or unjust to women. In versions of the tale where the tormented lady also happens to be a mother, the white-wearing ghost is also believed to take human children, likely to replace the ones she lost. And for centuries, this tragically haunting tale was passed down, not only across generations, but also across the world. It is true that the reason why the Lady in White ghost is so popular is that, unlike other entities of lore, her story has been told around the world, varying only in slight details and epithets. Let's look at just a few. Onryo. Among the most dreaded type of yurei, or ghosts, in Japanese folklore, Onryo, or the vengeful spirit, fit the description of the White Ladies to a T. They have long black hair, and they often appear wearing the white kimonos they are believed to have been buried in. Not only that, but they also have the tragic backstory that completes every Lady in White lore, beginning with a woman who was wronged, removed from life, and is now seeking to exact revenge even after they're gone. Think of the main antagonists in the classic Japanese horror films, The Ring and Ju-on, The Grudge. The list of Woman in White ghosts from around the world would not be complete without Mexican folklore's La Llorona, also known as the Weeping Woman or the Wailer. La Llorona is a vindictive ghost of a mother who mourns the loss of her children. Lamentably, though, it was her who killed the young ones, who drowned them in a fit of blind rage after learning that her husband was having an affair with another woman. But lo and behold, it was an act that she immediately regretted. Unfortunately for her, it was too late. Consumed by guilt, La Llorona tries to follow her children to the afterlife by drowning herself. However, with a sin like that, she was cursed to continue roaming this earth, wearing her soaked white dress, until she finally finds her children and reunites with them. The road between Beeford and Brandesburton in East Yorkshire is said to be the haunting spot of a white lady, known simply as the Running Lady of Beeford. She is not the only white-dressed ghost of England. There are several others, including the White Ladies of Barry Pomeroy Castle, Oakhampton Castle, the Portchester Castle, among others. But the Running Lady's story is arguably one of the most chilling. There is a rumored case of her causing a car crash that killed 6 people. Moreover, local beliefs similarly say that her manifestation is often an omen of death. But even in the seemingly most unremarkable instance, this ghostly lady in white would doubtlessly still be able to make anyone's blood run cold. After all, who would not be horrified after seeing an apparition run fast across a particular street in your small, unassuming village? Just by analyzing the name of the entity itself, White Lady, we can understand what its lore actually symbolizes. The color white, in most contexts, especially in art and religion, evokes the concepts of purity, goodness, peacefulness, perfection, flawlessness, virginity, and heaven. Perhaps the reason why this was the color associated with the forsaken white-dressed spirit was that this character of lore, in some way, embodies those positive attributes. Of course, before it was all tainted by death, betrayal, and murder. But if we take a closer look, even in versions where the supposed killer or sinner is the woman, the flip from good to evil generally happens to be rooted in this injustice. The woman suffered at the hands of men. In tales and legends, the White Lady is almost always the daughter or the wife of some man. But this male figure is also often the same person who violates and wrongs her. Have you encountered the Lady in White? Tell your stories in the comments below. And I want to thank you for taking this journey into darkness with us. My name is Sid Myers, and this is Lore Thrill. Sleep tight.